What is up, people? It is me, Monster58, and welcome back to another episode of Armored Core 6, Fires of Rubicon. In the last part, we ended up starting off the story by establishing ourselves as an independent mercenary, landing on a planet known as Rubicon, found out that that planet was destroyed essentially by centuries and centuries of war over this techno-organic substance known as coral. And now we are trying to build our name up as a mercenary, and yeah, we're gonna go from here. We also showed off like customization, AC parts, all this, sort of tutorial stuff, or basic stuff, not necessarily tutorial stuff, but also basic and tutorial stuff. And in this episode, we are going to continue building our name up as a mercenary and seeing where we go from here. So yeah, without further ado, folks, I'm not going to say anything more, and we'll just get right into it. So what we do have is we have AC test. So on an AC test, one thing that you can do is essentially this is your training ground. So if we press the S here, I'm just going to show a lot of this stuff off right now before we get into it, because they ended up showing at the end of the last episode. You can test your AC, so we're not going to even show the tutorial, but you can even do enemy settings. You can change what you're fighting, a trainer AC, drones, MTs. You can also do, like, you can resupply yourself. You can change the assembly of your AC like mid-combat, which is really, really cool. So there's a lot of ability and way for you to test your AC very easily in this mode, and I really do enjoy that. So we're going to quit our test for now. Going to go back to the main menu. We're going to go to sortie again, and then we are going to show the other stuff off. So we have training as well, and because we're going to do that, because we should do this for the AC parts, we're going to do it. So learn to pilot an AC and master fundamental battle techniques from the training menu. Complete the exercises for the use of the training AC to earn standardized training parts used for instruction. So why not begin training? Yeah, you must pull on the trigger while they unlock on range. Yes, so weapons have ranges and like optimal and optimum ranges and stuff like that. Some weapons will still hit, but sometimes they don't. So, yeah, we're gonna do this. Whoops, wrong one. Yep. Got a new gun that we haven't had access to before. Yep, very nice. Very nice there as well. Okay. Weapons with mags will obviously reload. Yep, so you don't have to reload anything necessarily, but you can, like you can manually reload, but I don't think it's really necessary all that much, so. Yep, we can do that automatically, but I don't think it really matters all that much. Just keep shooting and you'll reload on your own. Yep, like I mentioned, so when you're locking on like this, the one thing I didn't mention is you want that yellow bar in the upper right to remain, to like get full, to get the full lock on. So got that going. We can multiple lock here, and then we can just do this, and now boom, easy. Jump up here. Melee weapons. I already explained these, so we'll just show them off again. So you can use them against enemies with shield. So boom, boom. This also has like a one slash move. So I'll show you here. Boom. That hits harder. But it's only one slash. So for these guys, you generally want to do two, because you can break the shield and then hit them. So. Now, not all melee weapons will operate the same exact as this one does, but it's a start, right? And even in the later stages of the game, I find myself using this melee weapon a fair bit. You can detect enemies, yes. So the one thing I didn't show is you can scan here. So to scan, you press the down button here, and you can see enemies behind walls and stuff like that. So you can obviously, yep, very helpful in certain situations. And you'll see that's genuinely useful throughout the game, and you'll see why. So we'll do this. Yep, there's enemies behind it. Yep, you can see. And then we can turn around this corner and then boom, boom. Alright, we'll wait for our weapon to recharge. You can see the cooldowns on the, like on those circles. Yeah, you can see like the red bar, that's where my melee weapon is. And once it's down, that's when it's fully cooled down. Nice. Able to complete our first training program. We got AC parts for it. So yeah, we got a new gun, which is real nice. So if we go to our AC design, we go do the assembly, we can switch it. And then you can also see tutorials for all these, which is awesome. So I actually might switch to this guy because I prefer this guy. And yeah, I think we're good there. Sortie. Yep, and then we can go to replay mission. You will earn credits for replaying the missions and stuff like that. And like I said, you can get graded for them as well, depending on how, little damage you take, how much damage you take, how much ammo you use, yada, yada, yada. I already explained that. But now, time to get into the actual missions of the story. So without further ado, folks, let's hop right into it. Now, like I mentioned in the reveal video, this game has branching missions, and you will see which ones are defined as branching missions. So check incoming jobs and sortie on missions. From the missions menu, complete missions to progress the story, of course. So first things first, we have destroy artillery installations or grid 135 cleanup. So I think what we'll do is start off with destroy artillery installations. Southern Belius, a contaminated city. Destroy the targets is our objective. Our reward is 100,000 credits. Destroy all Rubicon Liberation Front artillery installations. Extra rewards based on the number of enemies destroyed. So without further ado, let's get into it.
Got a job for you, 621. This is an open call from the Balaam Group, one of the corporate forces occupying Rubicon.
Attention, all independent mercenaries! This request comes from our affiliate, Dafeng. The Rubicon Liberation Front has deployed Baus artillery throughout the contaminated city. The city itself has no strategic value. We cannot allow them to hinder expansion of the Coral Survey. Show us your ambition. Destroy the Liberation Front's artillery. Bonus pay will be awarded for destroying their MTs. We want the enemy weakened. Consider it an opportunity to prove yourself. Impress us, mercenaries!
Alright, so before every mission, you have the ability to repeat the briefing, go to your assembly and change it, or change your AC entirely. So don't feel like when you press like that mission button that you're locked into whatever. No, you have the ability to essentially overview everything and make sure that you're good to go. Now, one thing I like to address, I'm sorry if the audio cuts in and out. That's something that's always happened with this game when I'm recording it, and I'm not exactly sure why. It just kind of happens. Now, it's not super bad, but please bear with me with that. That's something I'll probably end up trying to figure out while we're recording this, but it's just something that I am not super, I don't understand why. Any of you more technical people can leave comments, maybe leaving suggestions. But I apologize for that. I hope it's not too obtrusive. I don't personally think it's too obtrusive. Other than that, yeah, just wanted to address that. But without further ado, folks, let's sortie, head right into it.
The client doesn't care who does this job, as long as it gets done.
System activating combat mode.
Commence mission. Destroy all of the Rubicon Liberation Front's artillery emplacements.
Alright, gonna get rid of those guys. Not too bad. Alright, let's get rid of these two.
There. That's one of the artillery emplacements. The front is protected with armor from behind.
Deploy the combat. Destroy that AC.
There's only one of them. Just do this.
Oh, I missed. Alright, we can come up here, get rid of this one. Alright, not too bad. Now, these missions at the beginning are going to seem a little bit pedestrian, and that was one thing I had in my first impressions video of this game.
Move on to the next site, 621.
That was one of my initial complaints with it, but you'll understand why as you move through the game, but yeah.
It's mass-produced enemies. Eliminate them as necessary.
Alright. Still doing okay. Alright. Ooh, missed. That was close. And... come on. Very nice. Okay, there we go.
Head to the final site. Keep up the good work.
There, that corporate dog. Don't give him another inch.
So when you hear those warning signs, you'll know that that's something that's really like strong that's going to shoot at you. So you want to be careful, and you want to. A lot of this game is not just like visuals and stuff like that. It's making sure you listen to the correct sounds, because sometimes listening to that warning and then dodging at the correct time can be extremely helpful and save your life in many situations. Alright. You can see we're locked on here by some sniper or something like that. Essentially one of the artillery here. Alright, miss. Very nice.
What makes the Liberation Front strong? Forged in act, we stand as one!
Nice, that one's gone. Too bad. Oh, whoops. Come on. Oh, I screwed up there. Well, it's alright. Just gonna recover energy. Shoot here. Easy peasy. Nice, and then one more, and we are good to go. Boom!
All targets destroyed. That's it for this job, Sister. Return to base.
Alright, very simple mission. Nothing crazy, but as you can see, this is how this game is going to work for the time being, and it's really not too bad. Alright, 125 grand. Can't complain about that.
One new message.
This is a notification from Allmind, the mercenary support system. Registration number RB23. Call sign, Raven. Your return to mercenary activities has been acknowledged. Restoring access to the parts shop.
Okay, now when we go to down here, you can see we have a parts shop now. I will show the sortie. Again, you have the ability to like replay your missions and stuff like that. Now we have some more training missions there as well. We'll probably do the second mission and then do the training mission. Let's go to the parts shop though. So what you can do is you can buy and sell anything that you have. And the cool thing I love about this game is it feels like call back to old gaming where you unlock everything literally just by playing the game, and there's no dumb microtransactions or anything like that. That's one thing I appreciate about this game. And then you can see how these like weapons work. So you have this new weapon here. I'm not a fan of this thing. I'm not really a fan of these guys either. This one's okay, shoots a nice missile, but and I'm not the hugest fan of it. And then we have access to a lot of other stuff already. You can basically buy the same weapon for each hand, so don't be afraid for that. We're going to buy something. We're probably going to... What is this one again? Oh, it's a shield. Yeah, the shields I don't really use all that much. I mean, they're cool, but I've never really found too much use out of those, and I don't really enjoy using them. Might honestly end up picking this up. Yeah, and we'll probably end up equipping it because I don't care. And then we have some new parts that we can buy as well, so we're going to have to earn some money, but we'll build that up over time. And also, you'll see me probably off-screen might end up, like, grinding out some stuff over time in terms of credits and stuff like that, just so we can get some credits. So we have new boosters as well. Second generation, we have thrust, upward thrust, so QB thrust, if I'm not mistaken, that's the thrust with like when you're dashing, right, and dodging. This actually seems pretty good. Lightweight or medium weight. Actually, I might end up doing that. Yeah, and then we have new generators and stuff like that. We can sell some stuff. I'm probably gonna end up selling. I don't know. I think we're okay. Let me go to AC design. We're going to go to the right shoulder, and we're going to equip the left shoulder. We're going to equip that. And the new boosters, I'd like the new boosters as well. And we can go into our AC data and just save this to overwrite it. Go into the parts shop. or don't need anything else. Is there anything else I missed? Oh yeah, so new chests, lots of cool new chests. Some ones that I still use to this day, like on my my original save file. Bunch of new arms, new legs. Very, very cool stuff. Yep. Got some new chips as well. The chips, for those of you, I haven't explained the chips all too much. The chips essentially, like, you're locking on to stuff. Some have, like, multi-lock-ons easier, single-target lock-ons easier, single-target lock-on is faster, multi-target lock-on is faster, so stuff like that. Alright, let's go to the second mission, which is Grid 135 Cleanup, and then we'll do the next training mission as well.
Got a job for you, 621. It's an open call from the Arquebus Group, one of the extraplanetary corporate forces.
To all independent mercenaries, this request comes from Schneider of the Arquebus Group. The operation will take place in Grid 135, Southern Belius. Your objective is to destroy an MT squad sent by Dafeng, a Balaam company, and a competitor. Grid 135 is a key foothold in Arquebus's efforts to conduct a coral survey in the contaminated city. You, the independent mercenaries, are the key to maintaining our lead in the coral survey race. The Arquebus Group looks forward to news of your success. Briefing over, and happy hunting.
So you can see with these first two missions, we're getting introduced to two of the big corporations, Balaam as well as Arquebus, and these are going to be extremely prevalent, essentially characters and industries throughout this entire story. So get ready to see these guys a lot. But I have nothing else to change. Without further ado, let's sortie.
You've got ID. Now you need a rep. Get their attention, 621.
Main system activating combat mode.
Commence mission. Wipe out the Dafeng MT squad.
Alright, let's head out. Got a left shoulder weapon, which is real nice, finally.
What I see? Strike the Arquebus hired some muscle. An independent mercenary, huh? At least they didn't send the best person. Intercepting!
They're just mass-produced MTs. Talk to that, 621.
This safety pilot's sharp.
Focus your fire!
Alright, not bad. Yeah, these guys are really easy. These guys are just...
That mercy turn through us! Damn it. Arquebus really scored this time.
Only a few targets left.
The one thing, too, I didn't point out is when it comes to guns, you can have...
Wait, I'm picking up new enemy signatures. Looks like reinforcements. Eliminate them.
You can absolutely have two guns instead of a gun and a melee weapon. That's absolutely possible, and a lot of people run those builds too, so don't be afraid to do that. It's just, I don't think you get access to the best of that right now, just due to the fact that we are really early on, and you don't get access to those weapons that you would like to have for, like, two gun setups, something like that, right?
Needs to know.
The enemy MT squad has been eliminated. That's it for this job, 621. Return to base.
So as you can see, guys, doesn't matter so far what corporation we're just being hired by, as long as we get the job done. And that is a way that we're going to be building up our reputation, and that's a big part of this game. And you'll see how this eventually will build up over time. But we have Arquebus and Balaam, huh?
One new message.
Registration number RB23, call sign, Raven. Your records have been updated. You have also been granted access to participate in the Log Hunt program. We kindly request that you submit combat logs after destroying designated craft. All Mind will reward you with parts based on the number of submissions you provide.
Yes, so log hunt. So discover and destroy targets marked with the log hunt icon for combat logs. Essentially, these are like extras, and they'll reward you with AC parts. So definitely want to do that, or at least do as much as we can. So yeah, All Mind is sort of, you know, right now, our, like, I guess it's kind of like our, like, AI in a way, right? So that is helping us just, you know, tutorials and all that stuff. So we're going to do, like I said, we're going to do the second training mission because, again, we get parts for it. So let's do it. Combat fundamentals. So some weapons are capable of charge attacks. So yeah, there are some weapons where you can charge them up, and they will do more damage and stuff like that depending on, you know, you charging them up and stuff like that. So this is one of them, the gun that we have. So you can see it here, and then boom. And boom. Yeah, the ACS, the altitude control system, can be compromised by accumulated strain. So like I said, with the ACS is essentially that the yellow bar. It makes you, yeah, like I said in the first episode, when you get it all the way to full, it staggers an enemy, and especially for higher health enemies or bosses or stuff like that, this is important because that's the amount you can do the most damage to it, right? So immobilized and susceptible to critical damage. So you can see we'll do this, and then direct hits deal much more damage, and then you can continue to, like, stagger and stun an enemy. So boom, boom. So that's what you generally want to do with melee weapons, get them staggered, and then you can use your melee weapon. Or you can just unload with whatever gun you have. But generally advisable to use a melee weapon, just because it'll do so much damage. Just like that. Alright. Cumulative strain. So essentially the idea is, like, you want to keep consistent damage or do enough damage to be able to, you know, stagger an enemy. But over time, the stagger will reduce, right? If you let it if you don't hit them for a while. So as you can see, so I'll hit him here, and then watch. As I wait, yeah, you can see that he has much less, and now it's going to start to go down as long as I won't hit him. So you can see that. Do that. And then boom, and then boom. Easy. So again, we can do this. Hit him with that stagger, and bam. So you can see how this game can get really complicated when it comes to, or at least very interesting too, when it comes to the ways that you can stagger enemies. Yes, and unaware enemies, essentially like sneaking up on an enemy, very similar to, like, in, you know, Monster Hunter Wilds right now, for those of you who play that. You have sneak attacks, essentially what this is as well. So multi-lock here, and kaboom, and wha wha, and boom, and boom. Very easy. Alright, now you have a shield, so we can use left bumper to use it, and they'll show you here. So they'll shoot here. Yep, blocks damage. See, this will block. Not everything, but it'll block a lot of the stuff up front. So just get rid of these. But you guys get the basic idea of how this works. So yeah, shield output is maximized 1 to 2 seconds, so it can help to minimize. So if this there. Boom, and then we'll just get rid of it. But yeah, the best way to use your shield is kind of like a perfect guard in a way, or trying to get like a perfect guard, although you do have more leeway than a perfect guard. So, and like I said with the assault boost earlier, you can shoot, and you can melee out of it, and then you can also melee while you're boom, boom, boom. At the end, you can melee at the end of an assault boost. But yeah, just some extra stuff. You'll find I've used charge weapons before, and I actually have a build where charge weapons were the main use of it. So now we have access to the gun that we used in there, and that's pretty cool. So I'm not going to care to use it. Again, I'm not a big fan of it. It may be more useful in the earlier stages or with certain builds and stuff like that, but just not something I'm super interested in doing. So we can go to the parts shop too, and you can see here it is right here. So we can buy it for our left. We have it for the right, but like I said, I could care less, honestly. I'll just show it to you here. So now we have access to it. Like I said, I just don't care to use this weapon at all. So without further ado, folks, let's see what other missions we got. And I think this next mission will be our last one that we do today, or one of the new ones. Oh yeah, I think a good way to end off today's episode is to do a 1v1 with an AC. So everyone, let's hop into it.
Got a job for you, 621. It's an open call from the Arquebus Group.
To all independent mercenaries, this request comes from Schneider of the Arquebus Group. Dafeng, one of our adversaries allied with Balaam, has introduced a new tester AC. It's a sample model from an external architect, featuring extensive assembly optimizations. In the hands of an experienced pilot, it will pose a threat far too great to ignore. This brings me to the request. Intercept delivery of the tester AC and destroy it. The Arquebus Group looks forward to news of your success. Briefing over, and happy hunting.
Alrighty. So our orders are clear, and very similar. So what you guys are seeing is that Balaam is to Arquebus as Dafeng is to Schneider. So Schneider and Dafeng are obviously like smaller corporations that are affiliated with their respective bigger corporations of Arquebus and Balaam. But yeah, anything that, you know, screws with Schneider, as we're seeing right now, is, you know, obviously anything screwing with Schneider will screw with Arquebus, and anything screwing with Dafeng will screw with Balaam. So as you can see, we're really building up this very like corporation focused heavy story, and as most mech, you know, fantasies go, this is how it's going to be, and I do really just enjoy this stuff. So I hope you guys are enjoying it, and we'll see the story as it develops.
The target may be a product sample, but it's still an AC. Stay sharp, 621.
Main system activating combat mode.
Commence mission. We've got a read on the target. Now's the time, 621.
Alrighty.
Pilot's just a trainee. Very dirty, but don't let your guard down.
Ow. Boom. Boom. Alright. Doing alright. Boom.
I just wanted to call sign of my own.
Enemy AC destroyed. That's it for this job, 621. Return to base.
Alrighty, that really wasn't too bad. Like I said, my experience in this game will definitely make some of these missions, especially for someone who's playing this for the first time. If you're playing along, will definitely be like, you'll be like, wow, you did that so easily. It's just experience, just practice, and all that stuff. I'm not really that good at this game. I wish it was better. I just really enjoy the game. I wanted to express that to you guys. But yeah, our first AC fight, one-on-one AC fight that we've ever done. Wasn't too bad. Yep, so got some log hunts.
One new message.
About the tester AC you downed. That was being shipped to the Red Guns, Balam's in-house AC squad. They're Balam's main force, and its members are no amateurs. Remember who you're messing with.
Yep, so just so you understand, the Red Guns are essentially like the elite squad, as he sort of mentioned, of Balam Industries, and we will be running into them a lot during the story, so be fairly warned with that. But yeah, with that all out of the way, we did some more customization, got a ton of new AC parts, started to build up our reputation with these corporations, ended up doing our first one-on-one AC fight with not too much trouble, and we were able to do a little tutorial stuff as well. So I think that that's a great place to end off the episode. And so next time on Armored Core 6 Fires of Rubicon, we will be continuing to build up our reputation with these corporations, and hopefully, but you know, it's inevitable that we will run into the Red Guns at some point, and so hope you guys look forward to that. So thank you guys so much for taking the time to watch this video. Please like, comment, rate, and subscribe. Share this video with your friends, and also follow me in the socials. Those will be linked in the description below. And with that, guys, once again, thank you so much for taking the time to watch this episode, and I'll catch you on the next one. Hope you guys have a wonderful day. Peace.
High ambitions and the right mind can take you so far. It's like you lived a few lifetimes. Take off from a break off from the weak minds. They can stay soft. You can change lives.